This is meteorologist Tim Root with your KLEK 102.5 forecast. Pretty good chance of showers and thunderstorms today and tonight. A blend of sun and clouds, the high near 90, and the overnight temperature in the low 70s. More clouds, more showers and thunderstorms planned for Thursday and Friday due to a stalled weather system over the area. High temperatures Thursday and Friday should be in the mid to upper 80s. Your life, your music, we're KLEK 102.5 FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. 39 people are now known to have died after a motorway bridge collapsed in Genoa in Italy. The suspect arrested at Westminster in London on Tuesday is being named as Sudanese immigrant Saleh Khater. Russia's foreign minister says countries facing American sanctions may ditch the dollar and do business in their national currencies. And South Korean President Moon Jae-in says next month's summit in Pyongyang will be a bold step towards ending the Korean War.
It's 9:01.
Community Conversations is brought to you by Arkansas Early Learning, offering no-cost childcare in Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday to you. I hope that you're having a great start to your day. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Quabila Jones, and my special guest today is Minister Elugbe. Good morning.
Good morning.
And he's here from Future for Felons, and we're going to have a very good conversation today about some statistics and things that are going on and ways that we as a community can help individuals that have gone through the justice system, the prison system, hopefully get reacclimated back into a normal way of life. So first I would like Minister Ime to introduce himself a little bit more. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Okay, so I'm originally from Nigeria. I came here, graduated from ASU, but I, of course, had a drug addiction.
Okay.
And so, of course, if you've had a drug addiction at any length of time, you're going to run into law enforcement.
Okay.
Okay. And so I got into trouble and picked up a felony for possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a non-violent offense. But nevertheless, it's a felony.
Okay.
And but after that, turned my life around. Realized I was called to ministry, and started. I was, of course, Reverend Oda, very instrumental in this. When one Bible study was teaching, and it just, it dawned on me, just a discovery, like, hey, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to advocate for felons and those who society has basically given up on.
Okay.
Because I also I understood what it felt like to be turned down on a housing application because of your record, be turned down on your job application because of your record. I experienced that, and it's very frustrating. In your most sincere efforts, even though I had turned the life around, I was still being held against my past was still being held against me. So I understood that, and I could see how people would get frustrated and go back to a life of crime. Now, I didn't do that, but I can see how people do that, because it's not like I didn't feel like doing that at the time. I did, but I had strong accountability, mentorship, and so I didn't. But that's not the case for everybody, and most people just go back to crime, and so that's where the whole Future for Felons thing was birthed, and where we're different than other organizations like the Safer Foundation out in Chicago, and other organizations, Second Chances, that's helping felons reintegrate, is that we focus on the legislation aspect, okay, the policy aspect of it. We want change in law, okay, because as long as these laws discriminate against felons with these laws, we'll be in this era of mass incarceration. Okay, it's basically a numbers game, and more people will be caught up in it than will escape.
That is really sad. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're speaking with Minister Elugbe. Please forgive me for coughing. I want to say good morning to Station Manager Leganzi Kell and Mrs. Chelsea Chapman, who says good morning to you all. Okay, so let's just dive right into some of these statistics and the actual, I guess you say, the cycle. I noticed there was a flyer or a picture drawing on the Future for Felons Facebook page, and it shows the cycle how, because of some laws that have come into play, and the individuals behind the laws, the individuals behind the money behind the individuals, there's this whole cycle that continues that gets people caught up in the system. Yes, if someone commits a crime, yes, they have to face certain consequences, but should they be punished for the rest of their lives? And then why is it different for one individual over another? We hear that it goes back to who you know and the type of lawyer you have and the money you have and blah, blah, blah. And it shouldn't be that way.
Exactly.
Everyone should be given a chance to, depending on what their crime is, everyone should be given a chance to start their life over. So let's talk about this cycle and how it goes.
So, with the prison industrial complex and the revolving doors thing, basically the prison industrial complex is mass incarceration plus all the companies that profit from mass incarceration. Okay, this is a $182 billion industry, and ever since the war on drugs, the term was coined by Nixon back in the 70s, and since the 70s until now, the war on drugs has cost America, I believe, at least 14 in the trillions of dollars. I know it's in the trillions. Okay, so we spend a lot of money on this war on drugs. Now, also, there are, as you were mentioning, stakeholders, lobby groups, influential players in this prison industrial complex who block any meaningful prison reform that tries to threaten their profit. Okay, and so that's, everybody is having a piece of the pie, from construction of the prisons. It's $3.3 billion from the food, $2.1 billion. Commissaries, $1.4 billion. They're charging families $25 for a 15-minute phone call. Okay, these are, these add up. Okay, $5.8 billion for the prosecuting attorneys, and so these numbers, this just adds up, and so what happens is, every time the prison is built, of course you have to fill it up. Well, here's where the laws come into place: is when formerly incarcerated people come out, and now it's hard enough coming out of prison, and then now you're met with all these barriers, all these laws. We talked about off air briefly. We were talking about Clinton. No president was tougher on crime than President Clinton. He's actually the toughest president on crime, and he came out with a lot of 3 strikes you're out. Matter of fact, 1 strike you're out if it's a drug conviction. 1 strike you're out from public housing and food stamps and things like that. He came with the Personal Responsibility Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act, okay, PR-WORA. That right there is what prevented felons from getting any meaningful employment. Once you've been convicted of a felony, that act right there made it difficult for felons to get any meaningful employment. And so, of course, then you have mandatory minimums. What mandatory minimums does is it strips the judge of his power, and it transfers the power to the prosecuting attorney. So the prosecuting attorney is the most powerful player in this criminal justice system. Wow. Because what happens is when it's mandatory minimum, then the judge is not able to look at any extenuating circumstances. The judge is not able to say, factor this in, factor that in. No, it's a mandatory minimum. So if you've been convicted, this is the minimum you have to do. And so, the power is given to the prosecuting attorneys, and they are paid way more than the public defenders.
Of course. We see that in a lot of these real life, documentaries and replays of actual court cases, and things can get quite bad. Okay, so kind of going back to the private prisons and the industrial prison, and the people behind it. Also, you mentioned businesses. Right. And then one thing also we know, and of course we're not going to name any businesses on air. Right. We're not going to do that. But there are some businesses who utilize the prison system to produce their product. Right. So things that we pay X amount of dollars for in a store, right, is a possibility that it was produced, right, in a prison system, right, where these individuals are either getting paid nothing or pennies. Right. So exactly, that business is making a huge profit. Absolutely. Off of these products. Absolutely. That's part of it too, and that's part of the discrimination. I put a post on Facebook. If you must discriminate, do that in prison. If you must take away rights, do that in prison. Out here, in this constitutional democratic republic, rights are inalienable, and government is supposed to protect those rights. And so out here to discriminate, that is unjust. And it seems that individuals who have gotten caught up in the justice system now have a felony attached to their name. Right. They have the hardest time trying to get from under that. Right. Even after they've served their time and paid all of the fines, right, there's still so many hoops to jump through just to, right, regain their, as you say, inalienable rights. Right. Exactly. And that's part of the design, so that the hope is to get frustrated and go back to a life of crime, which feeds into the mass incarceration prison industrial complex thing, where they go back to a life of crime, they get caught again, high recidivism rate and things like this. Yeah, it's all by design. And we talked about a little bit off air, concern about education. Yes. So with more prisons popping up, do you feel that if that money was diverted to education sources, more schools, more programs, anything else geared towards educating and empowering, yes, our people, young people especially, do you feel that the incarceration rates would decline?
Well, no doubt there is a correlation between a lack of education and crime, and there's one study show that higher education, lower crime, and vice versa, and so definitely kids staying in school is important. Getting an education post-secondary, post-high school education is important. It's also important, I think, I think that in fact, the justice system should run like a university system. Okay. That's the way I think. And I think that because if somebody is coming in to the system, into your system, and their situation was they were poor and they lacked an education. These were the circumstances surrounding them, low socioeconomic status and whatnot. If nothing is done to address that in prison, and then now they're coming out to the same situation or even worse, because now you have the stigma. What are the chances that this person is going to succeed? How has the system put this person in a position to succeed? And so if you run the justice system like a university system, then it's kind of like ASU. You go through the ASU system, and when you come out, they confer on you a diploma, a degree, or a certificate, or whatever the case may be, and that means that ASU is backing you. Okay. ASU stands behind you. That's like you're a product of their system, and they back you, and they're saying that you have what it takes to function successfully in whatever field you have your diploma in or whatever. So I'm thinking the justice system function like that. Back your the offenders, because they're a product of your system. Back them up and be able to be that go between, that gap, because there is a gap between felons and the community. Let's just face it, our community is scared of felons, so there's a gap there. Okay, so there has to be an intercessor, so to speak, and that's where the justice system has to come in and say, listen, this person has been through our system and is rehabilitated. Okay. That's the way it should function. And so with the system going in between, bridging the gap between the community and felons, that would help felons reintegrate. Okay. But they don't do that. Okay. They're not doing that because they don't care about felons. They don't. The justice system does not care about its offenders, particularly poor offenders.
Poor offenders, and so it goes back to a money game.
Right.
In essence.
Right. Okay. Right. Because if the justice system did all they could to help formerly incarcerated people reintegrate, well, then the chances that they will succeed are higher. Well, if that's not going to help the prison industrial complex, because the more they're succeeding, the less people are re-entering the prison, so that's going to be bad for business. So they can't, and that's what I mean by the key stakeholders. They are blocking any meaningful prison reform, because that's bad for business. The better felons do, the worse it is for the prison industrial complex. And so that's why they have to keep these laws and these restrictions in place and keep it tight. And so that's where we're at.
All right. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're speaking with Minister Elugbe from Future for Felons. I have a question, yes. And I know we only have a short time left in this segment, but just think about, about if the money that was spent on prisons could go to schools and other education sources. On the same token, what if the money was also used for empowerment programs or programs that are located centralized within the inner cities or these areas that are disenfranchised?
Absolutely.
Providing the people with low to no income a way to pull themselves up.
Absolutely.
Creating job opportunities. Just say a construction company wants to come in and rebuild. Allowing the people who already live there the opportunity to work, or provide a training program for them to be able to run the equipment. I understand I'm on the outside looking in. However, I just do personally feel that something can be done.
Absolutely. One of the 6 phases to change, you have to provide those infrastructures and those amenities in areas of poverty and low socioeconomic status. You have to do that. You have to do things like that, and yes, that would help a lot. I mean, you can just look at all in this community, our low-income neighborhoods. What do they really have there? To what's there, what's there, and there's not really much. There's nothing there. Like we can take even where the computer lab is. That's the only thing there. Yes. There's nothing else. And so yes, pouring money into these low-income neighborhoods is definitely more effective and less expensive than locking people up and for X amount of time. Right. Definitely can put better use of that money. Yes, I agree with you there.
And I understand not everyone in those neighborhoods will gravitate toward and be receptive of the help. However, if you start with 1 or 2, word of mouth will spread the news, and you will start empowering people and encouraging them, and it will have a trickle-down effect.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to have to stop right there and take a quick break. Again, you're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. You can join our conversation by watching our live Facebook live feed or give us a call in the studio, 870-277-1080. We'll be right back after these announcements with Minister Elugbe from Future for Felons.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
What do you want to be when you grow up? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. That's the question children hear all the time, and we enjoy hearing their answers. A doctor, a teacher, a fireman, a ballerina. But what if the question was not about what they wanted to do for a living, but who they wanted to be as a person? Less about career and more about character. Imagine your child answering, I want to be a person of integrity, of wisdom, of courage and conviction. I want to be patient, compassionate, generous, honest. Talk to your child about the kind of person they can become. It's okay to want your kids to have a good career, but it's more important that they have good character. Remember, your family first.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
Family Minute is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a non-profit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Are you a young woman between the ages of 18 and 29 with the desire to further your education and serve your community? If so, then you may have what it takes to become Miss KLEK. KLEK 102.5 FM will be hosting its very first Miss KLEK scholarship pageant on February 16, 2019. The theme will be Women of Empowerment. The grand prize winner will receive $1,000 toward her education at any four-year university, community college, or trade school in the Northeast Arkansas area. Contestants must be enrolled in school for 2019 in order to be eligible to participate in competition. If you think you have what it takes to be Miss KLEK, then fill out the registration form online at klekfm.org or stop by 1411 Franklin Street here in Jonesboro to pick up an application. An unrefundable $25 application fee must be returned with the application no later than September 21st, 2018. For more information about the Miss KLEK Scholarship Pageant, visit klekfm.org or the official Miss KLEK Scholarship Pageant page by searching at Miss KLEK on Facebook. If you are a woman ready to empower and impact the community you live in, sign up to become the first ever Miss KLEK.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
The Black Professionals Network of Jonesboro was incorporated January 2013 with the mission of creating networking opportunities and to create community presence in the Jonesboro area. BPN is a diverse group of professionals established to make Jonesboro an ideal place for people of color and operates under the 4 pillars of Live, Learn, Lead, and Link. BPN meets the 3rd Thursday of every month. More info, Black Professionals Network on Facebook and bpnjonesboro.org.
The McDaniel Law Firm, 400 South Main Street in Jonesboro, is a firm believer in justice and equality for the minority community. The McDaniel Law Firm has fought for our rights for over 44 years. The McDaniel Law Firm offers legal help for wrongful death as well as trucking and automobile accidents. Bobby and Brett McDaniel are available for a free consultation at 870-336-4747 or at www.mcdaniellawyers.com.
Hello, I'm Officer Victoria Evans. I have always had a desire to help others in need and to be an example and role model to young women by encouraging them to never give up on their dreams. My dream was to become a police officer and to serve my community. In 2016, that dream became a reality, and it is the most rewarding experience of my life. Now I want to let you know about the same opportunity. The Jonesboro Police Department will conduct testing every month for patrol officers. Applications are available online at jonesboropolice.com or at the Police Department, 1001 South Caraway Work. The Jonesboro Police Department offers a competitive salary, health, and retirement benefits, top-of-the-line training, and most importantly, the chance to make a difference in the Jonesboro community. Join me in making Jonesboro a better place. The Jonesboro Police Department is an equal opportunity employer, and women and minorities are especially encouraged to apply. More information is available at 870-935-5657.
The Epic Center, located at 1899 Hasbrook Road, County Road 333, is Jonesboro's newest venue for entertainment for the entire family. They offer an auditorium with theater-style seating for up to 1,100 guests, a large stage, professional lighting and sound, dressing rooms, concessions, and more. Available for weddings, concerts, pageants, birthday parties, showers, and more. Booking and other information is available at Epic Center Jonesboro on Facebook, epiccenterjonesboro.com, and at 870-530-5841.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Quabila Jones, and my special guest today is Minister Elugbe from Future for Felons. In the first part of the show, we talked, we broke down a little bit about not what a felony is, but incarceration, the private prisons, and some of the cycle, how it continues to be such a successful business, and that's exactly what it is. Right. The prison system is essentially a business, right? Because of the different players in place that help to fund it. Now we're going to move into talking about mass incarceration and every aspect of that. So go ahead, Minister.
All right. So if we can, I always say it like this: if mass incarceration is a coin, with heads and tails. Then heads is the war on drugs and tails is the war on undocumented immigrants. Okay, so those are the two sides to mass incarceration. There's the war against drugs and there's the war against immigrants. Wow. Okay, and so we have the war on drugs. Of course, Nixon coined the term, and it's interesting that even though Nixon coined the term, if you actually look at his budget and how his expenditure, he spent money on rehabilitation, not punishment. Okay, he spent more money on rehabilitation than punishment. See, what it is with the drug thing, you take a health problem and you make it a legal problem. Okay, and you criminalize a person for having an addiction. And we were talking off the air how okay, you're a criminal for smoking crack, but now with the opioid crisis, okay, now it's a health issue. Well, that's a thing of demographics, because crack. Well, who's most likely to smoke crack? Okay, African American, poor African American. That's the demographics. So, and that's a target, and so you criminalize, you dehumanize them, and you criminalize them for having an addiction. Well, with the opioid, that's your upper echelons of society. You're well-to-do. Okay. So all of a sudden you got a problem. Mm-hmm. You can't just criminalize the well-to-do. So you see, that's another problem with our justice system. You treat the rich one way and you treat the poor another way. Okay, we know you can be charged with PODP, or possession of drug paraphernalia, and your bond set at $1,500, okay. And then another person may be charged with capital murder, their bond set at $500,000, okay. But the one who's being charged with capital murder, they're able to bond because they got $500,000 or whatever equivalent, okay. And so they're out. Whereas this person with the PODP, they can't afford $1,500, and so they have to sit in jail. Okay. So see that right there. It's a profit thing. It's a money thing. That's a disparity thing. And so, before the 70s, when crime was rising, when your probation and your parole officers, they were like social workers. Okay, and then that changed. Okay, and they became like law enforcement. Okay, and money was taken from social programs to bolster security. Okay, and then we enter into the Reagan era, and it just from there it just kept on going. And now the other side of that is the war on undocumented immigrants. That also they use laws to criminalize people who are undocumented, and so if you get arrested, you're undocumented, you go to jail, then the ICE, or Immigration's Custom Enforcement agent, is going to come and get you, and then you're going to be basically put in a detention center until your deportation hearing, and that can be anywhere from months to years. So you just packing them up in these detention centers, and it also adds up to this whole mass incarceration thing. So because you're housing them, they're basically in prison, and they're going to be there till who knows when. And so that's what we have with the justice system and mass incarceration thing. And here's the thing. If you if I violate the right of somebody else, okay, I've committed a crime and I need to be punished, there's no argument there. The challenge for society then becomes, can you punish me without violating my own rights? Okay. That's the challenge there. And to say or to think that, because of what I've done, I cease to have rights, that way of thinking is part of the problem. Okay, that rights are inalienable. Okay, so if I've done wrong and violated somebody's rights, Okay, that doesn't mean you violate my rights. You can punish the crime, but you love the criminal. Okay, you punish the offense, but you love the offender. You punish the felony, but you love the felon. So separate the crime from the criminal. Okay, and how do you do that is the next question. Well, after, again, I got to go back to at home with the kids. When kids make a mistake, do something bad, you punish them, but you give them an opportunity to get it right, so to speak. I mean, you don't, for example, I'll give you a simple scenario. Let's say my little boy, maybe I told him, hey, don't touch the milk, and he did touch it, and then he spilled the milk on the floor. Okay, and so he got whatever punishment I did for him, and that was that. Well, now it's time to go to Chuck E. Cheese. Imagine if I said, nope, you can't go to Chuck E. Cheese because you spilled that milk. Remember, you spilled that milk, so I'm holding that against you. You can't go to Chuck E. Cheese, and I take your siblings and go to Chuck E. Cheese with them, and you hold that against him. You see the picture that's been, okay, then I'm going to buy some toys for his siblings, and hey, he wants that too. Nope, you spilled that milk, so no. And I hold it against him.
So you're holding that one incident against him for the rest of his life?
For the rest of his life. And so that's unfair. That's unfair. That's unjust. So that you're not separate the crime from the criminal. We wouldn't do that to our kids. We don't do that to our kids. He made a mistake and it's done. You punished him, and then you now it's over. You don't keep on punishing him for the one mistake he made. That's going to discourage him, and that's what happens with felons. They get discouraged. And so it's kind of like that.
Okay. All right, you're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're speaking with Minister Elugbe from Future for Felons. And so we're talking about all things prison system, mass incarceration, felonies, the money behind all of this, and, how funding and resources can be redirected and funneled into other sources to hopefully empower and instill something within the people to want to turn away from a life of crime. Like you said, if you held that incident against your child for the rest of their life, it has now stunted their ability or their desire to want to do anything else positive in their life. They feel like, well, I'm a felon, I'm a criminal, and if you're going to treat me like that, well, I'm going to take on that mindset, and I'm going to be that. That's one thing that I learned in one of my in my juvenile delinquency class. If we start labeling children early on with certain things that are negative and basically they will crush their spirit, they eventually take that on. And especially if they get treated like that over and over. Okay, we know a child's record follows them all throughout their school year. So if one teacher says, oh, this child did XYZ, and they put all these really negative, harsh notes in there, the next teacher is already going to have a defense of or have this idea of who this child is before they even meet them. Same thing with criminals or felons.
Absolutely.
Someone just sees a record, they see black and white paper, and they've already made their mind up of who this person is.
Exactly. That's it. And that's why I say that the family is a microcosm of society, and I'm every day, just because I think about this issue every day. It consumes me. I think about felon disenfranchisement and mass incarceration, and and when we say mass incarceration, we're not just talking about locking up a bunch of people who are disproportionately people of color. Okay, we're also talking about laws and policies that are used to control these people, marginalize, disenfranchise, alienate, and ultimately destroy these people. That's mass incarceration right there. And so I see it every day as I watch my kids and how I parent them, and that's just like, this is how it should be. This is on a bigger scale. This is how it should be, and this is the solution right here if we're willing. Okay, if we're willing, because basically the justice system, as I said earlier, they do not care about the offenders. They don't care about the offenders, and it's sad. I'll tell you. Let me kind of paint a picture. On I think it was on Good Morning America, and some crime had just happened. I believe it was in the Home Depot, actually. I forget what state it was, but they were talking about and an officer was shot. A police officer was shot, and so very tragic. The hosts of the show, they said prayers for the officer that was shot and his family, and prayers for the Home Depot employee that was shot and his family. And I'm thinking, prayers for the offender and his family too. You don't care about the offenders. He's as much as you have to pray for the offender too. You can't just, hey, just he's enough. He's part of the you have to pray for him too and his family. Okay, so our system, there's a presumption of innocence, but there's not a presumption of mercy. Okay, and what that means is the system will do everything in its power to make sure that the innocent don't get convicted wrongfully. Okay, there's due process, warrants and all these kind of things. The system goes a long way to make sure that, hey, the innocent don't get convicted for the wrong crime. Now, even though that does happen, we've seen cases where people have done years upon years and for a crime that they did not commit. But the goal though is that the innocent does not get convicted for the wrong crime. That's the presumption of innocence. However, once you are convicted, there is not a presumption of mercy. You essentially an undercast, second-class citizen, less than human. I mean, you just, it's open season on you once you have been convicted. Basically, I mean, and according to the 13th Amendment, you are basically a slave to the justice system once you've been convicted of a crime, basically.
Oh, wow. All right. I want to say good morning to Mr. Clark and Mr. D'Angelo Clark. Thank you for tuning in. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're speaking with Minister Elugbe from Future for Felons. Now, you are very passionate about this because it is a personal thing for you. Tell us about some of the events that you've hosted and upcoming events that helps to spread the word about the information you just shared today.
Right. So we actually had our first march on May 20th last year. So that for me, I call that the birthday of So I use that, and it was all down Washington, from the bus station there down to the Temple 98, Church of the Living God. Temple 98. And we had a few more marches after that. We've had a screening of the documentary, the 13th. We've had a rally just recently. 3 months back or so, we had a rally. That was pretty good. Now we have the monthly town hall meetings, which is where we're at. And we recently, for the longest, we only had a Facebook. That was only a Facebook page, but now we have a website and we have a YouTube channel. So things are moving along. Just yesterday, we got an EIN number. So we're going to open a bank account here in a day or two. We'll open a bank account and look into form a board of directors here very quickly, and just I can see things moving forward. So if you want to connect, Facebook is very good. Our Facebook page is very good. You can connect with us there and message. I try my best to respond as quickly as possible, or Shakita herself can respond. And so we things are picking up, and I see I see a bright future, so to speak. I believe we'll be able to. I know it's an uphill battle. It's a controversial issue, but I believe that this is a divine assignment, and so I believe that it's going to succeed. We will overcome. We will leave this era of mass incarceration. We'll get it right. It's some famous authors like Michelle Alexander have actually called this the new Jim Crow. Okay, this mass incarceration, the new Jim Crow, and it's easy to see why, because if we look at the prison population, 47% is African American. So almost half of the prison population is African American. Then next you got the Hispanics, and then whites. So basically, people of color make up the majority of the prison population. So,
all right. Since you have gotten started with your marches and town hall meetings and various other and community engagements, how has the feedback been? Have you been able to actually have meetings with lawmakers, legislators?
Yes, yes. Representative Branch Smith has been very gracious. I was referred to Representative Branch Smith by Mayor Perrin. Okay. We met with Mayor Perrin last year and Rick Elliott, Chief of Police, about these signs that are over there, Cedar Heights Drive there, they are discriminatory. And I'm still on that, actually. We're trying to get the signs to come down.
What did they say?
They basically say that convicted felons are banned off the property. Oh. And they say that people on the property are subject to search, which is unconstitutional. It goes against the Fourth Amendment in the right of the people to be secure in their person, in their papers, in their houses from unnecessary searching. They're saying they can just pull up and search you if you're on that property, and I think it's unconstitutional and it's discriminatory. Plus, there are felons who have family staying on that property, and so they're not able to, they take the risk and go, but of course, if they get caught, it's straight to jail. So they're separating families with that, and so I understand. Of course, what the issue was is there was probably a lot of crime going on there, but that seems to be another problem with the focus is always on what, what, not why. Okay, we can't stop at the what. We must go a little deeper into the why. So, in other words, we want transformation justice, not retribution justice.
All right. We're going to have to pause right there. When we come back, we'll wrap up this segment while we turn into Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. Whether full-time, part-time, or as a source of extra income, many Americans will continue to choose entrepreneurship as the path to wealth, or at least additional resources. If you're among those starting a new business this year, or even if you've already been on your journey as an entrepreneur, here are some key mistakes to avoid when it comes to managing your finances. Don't make the mistake of foregoing professional help with managing your money in an effort to save money. It's not an expense, it's a necessary investment in your business. Incorporate your business. Failing to do so or choosing the wrong form of incorporation could put your personal finance and assets at risk. Don't mix your business finances with your personal finances. Maintain separate bank accounts, credit cards, and other financial functions for your business. Your goal, keep everything clean, simple, and should it become necessary, easy to explain to the IRS. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
Meineke of Jonesboro is now Starks Auto Service, a full-service auto repair and vehicle maintenance center, offering engine and transmission repair, brake service, tires, oil changes, and more, performed by ASE certified mechanics. Starks Auto Service, 2813 South Caraway Road in Jonesboro, 870-204-7112. Starks Auto Service, Jonesboro.com.
The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was established on January 1st, 1977, originally serving Blytheville, Arkansas, and now serving Jonesboro, Blytheville, Osceola, Marion, and West Memphis, Arkansas. Today, the chapter continues to make an impact by focusing on Alpha's national community outreach initiatives such as My Brother's Keeper, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, Go to High School, Go to College, Project Alpha, Boy Scouts, and the March of Dimes. The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is committed to Alpha's mission of developing leaders, promoting brotherhood and academic excellence, while providing service and advocacy to the community. More information about the Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is available at MOL Alphas on Facebook or via email at molalphas@gmail.com.
KLEK 102.5 FM is giving you more praise. That's right, KLEK brings to you All Gospel Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, enjoy all of your favorite gospel hits and get your praise on all day long. Plus, the return of the KLEK Praise Break. Lift up your hands, rejoice, and praise Him all day, all Wednesday, every Wednesday on KLEK 102.5 FM.
House of Details, located at 3217 Herb Street, Suite C, is a proud supporter of KLEK, offering detailing on any type of vehicle, waxing, clear coat protection, basic wash, hand wash, shampoo, interior cleaning, buffering, headlight restoration, pickup, delivery, and more. With a motto of, anything mean, we can clean. Details available via Quentin Bogard at 870-273-5187. House of Details on Facebook and houseofdetailsjonesboro.com.
We at KLEK would like to extend a sincere thank you to all of our underwriters and sponsors. If you would like to sponsor or underwrite our programming and help us to educate, entertain, and empower the community, our number is 870-203-9951. Our email address is klek1025fm@gmail.com. The website address is klekfm.org. Again, thank you for listening.
Support for KLEK is brought to you by
Fullness of Joy Ministries, 2120 Thorn Street, Jonesboro, under the direction of Bishop Adrian Rogers and co-pastor Susan Rogers. www.fjministries.org.
On KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Kabila Jones, and we've been speaking with Minister Elugbe from Future for Felons. I hope that you all have been taking notes and are making plans to reach out to him and his organization so that you can become more educated and involved in the process. There are many people who have gotten felonies that deserve a second chance in life, especially if they're nonviolent. Long story short, people deserve, as Minister Ime said, mercy after the punishment, after the crime. So, but I'm going to let him wrap up the final thoughts of this segment. I don't want to waste any more time. So go ahead.
Real quickly, I want to shout out to Representative Monty Hodges, and the reason why is because he's not even the representative for this district.
Okay.
But every time I call on him, he will come out of his district.
Okay.
And to speak or be at the rally or whatever. So he's been very available.
Okay.
And so I really want to thank him for that. He has a heart for this. Okay, so I want to thank him. This is going to take a joint effort, and a lot of people have this attitude of I'm not affected. I don't have it. It doesn't concern me. It does concern you. It from your tax dollars, because it's costing the taxpayers $30,000 to house an inmate. So you're paying taxes on it, and also I always say if you don't protect the rights of the guilty, you will endanger the rights of the innocent, and that means is that you could be the next victim of somebody committing a crime just because they're trying to get their own needs met. Not that it's right, but that's just what it is, and so we are all involved in this, and we all need to come together and work together to see this era of felon discrimination, disenfranchisement pass, and this era of mass incarceration pass. So get involved and support.
Okay. I know we only have like a minute or so left, but I want to quickly state, you mentioned about not looking past the why, but before we get to the what, look at the why.
The why.
There's a why people commit crimes, and sometimes it's very simple. It's out of desperation.
Right.
It's out of, they become a victim of their circumstance.
Right.
And so once you get to the root of the why, then you can hopefully fix the what or prevent the what from happening.
Exactly. So it's the whole, like I was saying, transformation justice as opposed to retribution justice. So transformation justice says, yeah, okay, this is what you did, but I want to know why you did it. And maybe if I can know why, maybe if I can prevent those circumstances that led you to do this, maybe you won't do this again. If for example, if you were hungry and that made you go to steal, well, maybe if I fix the food issue, maybe you won't steal. So it's that simple. That's the why aspect, which is the difference between God and man. God is all about the why.
Right. And to have the deeper discussion on this, you have to go to one of the town hall meetings. So we're out of time for today. I thank Minister Ime for joining us and sharing this information, and thank every one of you out there for listening and watching our Facebook Live feed. This video will be available on YouTube as well. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas minority.